Hari Bol and Hari Krishna to all my brothers and my sisters, and welcome back to Astro Motivation. Today, we're going to be talking about the most important transit of 2025, one that we have not seen since 1989. This exact transit of Mars conjunct Ketu in the sign of Leo, which is also called Pisacha Yoga. And this is a very powerful yoga, guys, that I am here to tell you all about it because this is a very extreme energy, and I want you to be very, very prepared for this so that you're able to harness the astro energies in your favor. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to Astro Motivation. My name is Vinodini Dasi. I am a Vedic astrologer, writer, and practitioner of the ancient Vedic arts. So if you are into self-development, Vedic astrology, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss any of the nectar. Alrighty, my beautiful brothers and sisters, let's see what this powerful conjunction of Mars and Ketu has in store for all of us.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri.
And I just want to take this moment to say thank you and a wonderful shout out to all my beautiful exclusive members here and the exclusive members of this channel. If it wasn't for these gorgeous Patreons, these beautiful little lotuses, I wouldn't be able to bring you guys so much free content. And so thank you so much to those who have given so much to this channel. I truly, truly love you so much and appreciate you so much. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do what it is that I do, and therefore I am extremely grateful. And of course, in my exclusive channel, we definitely have Vedic astrological lessons. So if you would like to have the introduction to how to read your chart, definitely join us. In the description here below, you will find out how to join. And we also have moon rituals for the full moon and new moon that you can join us as well. Alrighty, so before we get started, I also wanted to do a little announcement on my latest book. This is the book of the woman who forgot herself, a book that I've been working on for 4 years, a spiritual awakening for the woman who's ready to come home to herself. This isn't just another empowerment book. It is a divine transmission from the supreme goddess Sri Radha, calling you back to your truth. For the woman who's hyper broken, hyper independent, heartbroken, or hardened, this is your invitation to soften, heal, and rise. So reclaim your sacred feminine with this powerful book. And here you will discover ancient secrets of the feminine power hidden by modern society, the healing of the mother line, karma, and ancestral wounds, why purity, softness, and devotion are the most revolutionary acts of our time, and how to break the cycle of toxic relationships and embody a spiritual sovereignty. This is a divine feminine awakening to remembrance, healing trauma and heartbreak, love and union and sacred relationships, daily rituals, divine lifestyle, spiritual practices, and inner alchemy, modern femininity, and cultural awakening. So if you would like to get this book, pre-order it today. In the description here below, you will find the link. Alrighty, brothers and sisters, let's talk about this Pisacha Yoga, because this is a powerful yoga that the last time that we experienced this exact yoga, because Ketu and Mars come together every 2 years. But the last time that we had it in the sign of Leo was literally in 1989. So I would love to hear from you guys if this is the first time that you are experiencing this yoga, or if it's the second time that you are experiencing it. And of course, one thing that I like to show here is the truth of Vedic astrology. We can see right here in this picture how Mars is coming into the constellation of Leo. And Mars will be entering into the constellation of Leo starting June 7th all the way into July 28th. And this conjunction will be active during that time since Ketu is also in the sign of Leo. So this is going to be something very, very powerful, guys. And before we get into the horoscopes, because I am going to do an individual horoscope for each one of you, I want to tap a little bit into the general transit chart so that we can understand how powerful this chart is going to be. And of course, we're going to have here, and I'm also going to give you some remedies on how to handle these very powerful energies. So we have here the energies of Rahu, and all of these planets are going to be really in tune with all these energies. So, as we see here, we have Mars and Ketu coming into the sign of Leo. This conjunction is a very powerful conjunction. Mars and Ketu are actually quite similar, but very different. And the way that they're similar is that they're both Pitta planets, they're both fire planets, but their fires are different. Okay, Mars has a fire of igniting, of initiating, of fighting, especially fighting according to the rules. Mars is like the military man that wants to be a very honorable fighter, a very honorable kshetra. And so Mars here is very, very powerful, especially because it enters into the sign of Leo. Leo is like the king. And so here we have the combination of the king and the military coming together. And when we have these two energies, there is definitely an energy of conquering. There's an energy of expansion. There's an energy of imposing our will onto others. The energy of Leo is very kingly, very regal, very powerful. And it could lead into the energies of pride, arrogance, where we want to impose our will into others. This is when the king wants to expand this kingdom and therefore brings that the military to expand that kingdom. And so Mars here is very strong. Mars here is like, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to get what I want. I'm ready to fight for my honor, to fight for what it is that I desire, to fight for my passions. So this is all good and all, but there's a catch to it. Ketu is in the mix. And Ketu, also being a Pitta planet, also being very fiery, but it fights totally different. Ketu, being a headless energy, Ketu here fights for something bigger, and it burns away pretty much what no longer is needed. So the fire is not so much for honor, the fire is more to burn away all material attachments, to burn away all the things that are holding us back, to burn away all the false ego. And so this is a very interesting combination, because when we have Ketu in the sign of Leo, and if you don't know about that, I already made a video on Rahu and Ketu. Definitely go check it out, where you will understand more about this energy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just recognized that these are opposite. My apologies. So Ketu and Mars are coming here. So we have this combination. And so Ketu, as I was mentioning, Ketu fights differently. Ketu is the type of energy that says, I'm not even fighting for honor. I'm not even fighting for territory. I'm not even fighting for some passion or something that I'm attached to. I am here to burn away what is necessary. I am here to totally like get rid of what has been holding us back. So this is very tower moment, okay, guys? This is a very strong tower moment. And since it's creating this Pisacha Yoga, the Pisacha Yoga kind of brings this sort of ghostly energy. We have here the energy of Ketu, which represents a lot of the past, especially past lives. So here we have the energy of Ketu kind of bringing back something from the past. And it might be something from the past of this lifetime, but it could also be something from the past lives, like really bringing up to the surface these anartas. And the anartas are the impressions that we have in our heart from past lives. And this impression is very much connected to our pride, because it is in the sign of Leo. So it is an impression of pratishta, of wanting to have fame, of arrogance, of recognition, of pride, of false ego. And the thing about the false ego that it's so tricky is that it really makes us believe that we're bigger than what we are. It makes us believe that everything is in the center of who we are. It is the false ego that actually pulls us away, further away from God. Because my guru has said this, why is it that we have a false ego? And it is because it's trying to protect us from the immense truth of our insignificance. And I know that this may sound quite intense, but really think about it. You, the little being in this giant planet, which compared to the galaxy is very tiny, and compared to more galaxies is even more tiny, and compared to the universes is even more tiny. We truly are this very insignificant, tiny thing in the cosmo ocean. And I'm saying this not to burst your ego and not to offend you. I say this because because it's a liberation, and it is a sense of humility that can enter in our hearts to truly see with the truth that we are not that important as our ego makes us believe that we are. We really are not. And so the ego, the false ego, is here to protect us from this. And when we live by the false ego, and when we believe that we are our reputation, our status, our bodies, our mind, what we think, when we really believe these things, we actually suffer immensely, immensely. And so the whole path of spirituality and what Ketu is trying to teach us is that you are none of these material things. You are soul spirit. You are beyond it all. You are an infinite part and parcel of the super soul. You are not just this body, this mind, this status, this position, this job, this fame, this influencer, this, you're beyond this. And so this, for some of us, can feel like, quite humbling, but the humility will allow for the mercy to come in. And that is the trick here. So it can go two ways. It can go into the way where if we are actually practicing our spiritual practices, and we take our spiritual practices quite seriously for the next month until July 28th, we can have some amazing advancements. We can finally liberate ourselves from a ghost of the past that keeps following us around, something that keeps lingering in our heart, some anartha that keeps frustrating us, that we thought that we had overcome, that we thought that we had outgrown, and yet is still there. So we have an amazing opportunity to finally eradicate this lingering thing, to finally cut it away. And of course, we have Mars here to just cut it away as well. That is one route. So if we go through the route of renunciation and renouncing our false ego, and renouncing these attachments, and renouncing our pride, then this aspect can be quite beautiful for you, for your advancements in spirituality, and to truly liberate yourself from a ghost from the past. However, if we don't do our spiritual practices and we stay in the karma yoga of, the karmi energy, where we're like not about spirituality, we're about materialism, we're chasing material desires, we're chasing money, we're chasing status, we're chasing fame, then this is going to be a very tricky energy where it could bring a lot of frustrations, delays, and mistakes. So I will be warning every single one of you guys with each individual horoscope. So check your horoscopes, where we're going to go deeper into that. But before that, I just wanted to analyze this energy. So yes, we have Mars and we have Ketu in the sign of Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun during this time will be passing through Migrashira, which is the end of Taurus, going into Gemini, which is ruled by Mars. So there is an exchange here while Jupiter is also in Migrashira. So we are having an exchange of energies of the composites with Mars itself. And then where is the signs of Mars? Aries. And who just entered into Aries? Venus. So Venus is kind of the key here, we can say. Venus is kind of the key here on how to handle these energies, especially for the beginning. Eventually, Venus will move into Taurus and it will change vibes. And eventually, Sun will also move into Gemini, and as well as a little bit of Cancer during this whole transit of Mars in Ketu. But for the beginning, and for the energies here, we can see that Venus is in the sign of Mars, in the sign of the energies of Mars, of Aries. And eventually, she is right now in Ashwini Nakshatra, which is ruled by Ketu. And then she's going to move into Bharani Nakshatra, which is also in Venus. It's a Venus Nakshatra. And then it will move into Kritika, which is the sun, again connecting all of these energies. So this is definitely giving us an insane opportunity for massive rebirth and transformation. And just of the fact, because of course the head of Rahu is focused on the energies of Aquarius, and Rahu is in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra is it's a nakshatra of transcendence. It's a nakshatra where we go into the into the into the pillar. We put into the sacrificial altar everything that we no longer need. So Purva Bhadrapada is pulling us towards a massive rebirth, but the rebirth can only happen by literally renouncing all the vices and all the ghosts and all the pride and all the ego and all the falseness of what we think we are. So Purva Bhadrapada is saying the altar of sacrifice is ready and you need to sacrifice something. And this is what it's going to be shown here with the Mars and Ketu. This will get accelerated to show you what it is that we need to renounce at this time in order to finally eradicate this ghost from the past that keeps following us, that keeps haunting us. So there's this feeling of haunted, like there's this feeling of being haunted by this theme or this pattern or this vice or this thing. And so we have an opportunity here to finally create a sense of rebirth in our lives. And since Venus is the one kind of bringing a lot of energy into Aries, we need to focus a lot into the energies of Shakti. Yes, Shakti is going to be a lot of our saviors at this time. If we see that Mars is in Leo, Leo is the symbol of the lion, which is the king of the jungle, and the one who rides the lion is, oh, my apologies, is Durga Devi. Okay, here we can see that she is the one that Shakti, she is an expansion of the supreme goddess Sri Radha, and she is that aspect of the feminine that deals with fearlessness and deals with eradication of negativity, and it deals with cutting away what no longer serves us. Durga Devi, which is also an expansion of Parvati, she is literally the one who is taking care of this jail of the material world. She is the key holder of this material world. She is Maya Shakti. She is Purnamasi. She is Yoga Maya. So Durga Devi is very important because she has a really important task that Krishna has sent to her. Krishna has said, you are in charge of this material realm. You are the jail guard of this material realm. And we are going to separate those who are not sincere, those who don't want to serve the Lord, those who are not about God consciousness, and those who are just selfish, prideful, and want to just enjoy for themselves. Yoga Maya, Durga, is the one that will bewilder them and cover them with Maya even more to keep them away and to keep them even more locked up and more attached to this material world. While if Yoga Maya sees, or Durga Devi sees, that there's a sincere heart, a sincere soul that wants to serve the Lord, that wants to walk away from this material realm and wants to go towards the service of the spiritual world, she will arrange it so that you're able to get out of the jail. So she is very important during this time because Venus is the one ruling this. So she is the one that if we were to practice a lot during this time, a lot of rituals towards our divine supreme goddess, Shakti energy, the divine feminine, and that we surrender to her, surrender at this time, surrender what we don't need to be fighting for, surrender the pride, surrender the arrogance, and surrender the self-centeredness, then we are going to be quite protected during this time. So this is a very, very, very powerful time where it's giving us an opportunity to become closer to the Supreme Goddess so that we are able to be safe and we're able to be under the shelter. So this is a very, very powerful energy. Now, one of my favorite ways of practicing, of course, this is a time for massive spiritual practices. Go to your yoga classes, do your meditation, more than anything, especially if you're feeling irritable, especially if you feel like the Mars can't take it anymore and wants to just get super mad, because this is a little bit of a repressed anger that we're going to feel. And so if you're experiencing this anger, this repression, this frustration that Mars may have, then this is a time for us to do our chanting, to do our yoga, to do our meditation, because Ketu will be the thing that helps us to release this tension. And of course, my favorite way is the remedy of the Mahamantra. The Mahamantra is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is a very powerful mantra. It's called the Mahamantra because it has all the other mantras within it. And so chanting this at least 108 times a day during this transit will definitely protect you and help you to release this ghost from the past and finally renounce it. This is a nakshatra, this is a mantra that helps us in releasing our attachment to this material world, and we are at the same time asking for the service of the Lord. So very powerful nakshatra, try it out. And one last thing here that we have is that Saturn will be aspected as well by Mars, and this is going to definitely bring a lot of power. So the one thing that is going to keep us sort of grounded is Saturn during this time. So now that we've talked about the energies of this powerful transit, now we're going to go into the horoscopes for my beautiful brothers and sisters. Make sure that you check your ascendant and moon sign, because those are going to be the ones that are going to be most affected at this time. And remember that the way that I do readings is very unique. I am not just an astrologer, I am also a channel. So during the readings, I will also be pulling some oracle cards just to support the reading as well. If you do not like the oracle cards, you're more than welcome to skip them. But the oracle cards is just to emphasize more of what I'm already seeing with the tool of astrology. And I like to use more tools just so that you guys have a complete understanding of this very powerful time. Alrighty, so we're going to get started, of course, with my beautiful Aries. Welcome, Aries, to your horoscope for this powerful Mars and Ketu conjunction, this Pisacha Yoga. And so this is going to be a powerful energy where it's going to be happening in your fifth house of romance, children, and creativity. And this is also where your energy of pride kind of comes in. This is our intelligence. And so we have to be very cautious during this time that we don't think that we are just the smartest cookie, and that we don't have this attitude of like, I already know, I already know, I already know, because this can definitely affect us. Okay. So Mars and Ketu here are asking for you to renounce some sort of attachment, a very strong attachment that you may have towards a passionate something. This could be a romance, this could be your children, or this could be your creative pursuits. There could be some sort of ghost from the past here that has been haunting you around maybe fame. If some of you guys are like in the seeking of fame, or in seeking becoming famous artists or famous athletes or famous, creatives. So this is kind of releasing that sort of attachment and pride. We are also releasing some attachment to our children. And there could be a way where here Ketu and Mars wants you to go about your children in a different way, to go about your children in a way that is more conducive for you. And that, as our children grow, we also have to kind of accommodate to their different self-development moments. And so you could be going through this at this time where you're recognizing like, okay, my children are no longer babies and I can't treat them like babies. So there's a change here that is happening that Ketu is saying, renounce this. And there could be some pride in it where you're just like, I know what is right. I know what they need. I know how it should go. I know how this should go and how that should go. And there could be a lot of expectations. So this is our Achilles heel at this time, my beautiful Aries, the expectations. Expectations from your children, expectations from your romantic partner, expectations of your creative pursuits, and how they should have done this and they should have done that, and you should have been recognized and you should have gotten that and you should have gotten an award or whatever. Like, this is a moment for you to totally release yourself from expectations, my beautiful Aries, because this is the way that you're going to be able to handle this energy. Okay, if you're currently childish, if you don't have a child at this time, this could be a time where you finally eradicate some sort of concept of like, why is it that you don't have children? And this could finally come to some sort of end, some sort of muddy thing around children, some misconception. Like, there's some people who believe that, when you are pregnant, you literally have like a parasite inside of you and things like this. So this distorted ideas could be something that is starting to be purified. Ketu here wants you to purify your conception around children and any sort of fears that you may have around children. Some people are afraid of getting pregnant because they're fearful of their bodies changing or the pain that happens or all these things. So this is going to be going through a transformation for you. And for others of you who already have children, then this is a time where we are changing our approach to children. Everything. The key here is let go. Saturn is saying, let go. Let go. And this could be hard, my beautiful Aries, because you may be running into stubbornness with yourself here. So Saturn is saying you got to let go of certain attitudes, certain beliefs, certain expectations. Maybe some of you guys had expected that by this time you would already be recognized for all your talents and all your things. Others of you could have already had an expectation that, your partner, your love partner was going to be the most romantic thing ever, or expectations around love, or expectations about your creative pursuits, or expectations around your speculative businesses. So this may bring frustrations, my beautiful Aries. This may bring a lot of disappointing frustrations. And the idea here is that life is not against you, okay? This is a time of surrendering. And the more that you just adopt the feelings of surrender, the more that you say, you know what, I am not the controller. I am not the controller. I am not the one be all. I am not the one that knows everything and the best things. And I can't impose my will onto others. I can't impose my will onto my children. I can't impose my will onto my romantic partners. I can't force my creative projects to be something more than I'm expecting. Or I can't keep going living by being so attached to the results of what it is that I am hankering for. So yes, this could be difficult. Yes, this could be hard. But Aries, the moment that you just let go and stop fighting, because Ketu will win. Mars is not going to win. Ketu will win. And here, if you keep pushing, 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 it might just like end. Okay? So adopt the feelings of renunciation. Adopt the feelings of no attachments. Adopt the feelings of no expectations, and adopt the feeling of like, you know what God wants to give me is what it needs to be given to me, and focus more on aligning your divine will with the divine will of God. And this could be weird because sometimes we're like, the divine will of God may not be what it is that you want or your expectations. God may take you a whole other path that you weren't expecting. So it requires a lot of surrendering. It requires a lot of surrendering. And that is what Saturn is saying. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Don't hold on. Don't latch on because it will hurt more. So let's look a little bit deeper into these messages at this time. What are some other lessons that Mars and Ketu are bringing to Aries during this conjunction? And this will be something very important to you, my beautiful Aries, because Mars is your sign. Okay. Also, we have here your first lord will be going into the first house. So this has to do a lot with your persona, your identity, and your personality. And also your eighth house will be going into, your eighth lord will be going into the first house, which means that your intimacies and your psychology and your fears, but also the things that are hidden are also going to come up. You're going to be feel triggered. Let's just say that. But this is going to be something good because it will finally, you will be able to release some sort of haunting energy of the past around romance, children, and creative projects. So we have here, easy does it, baby. So during this time, no impulsivity. If you become impulsive, you will make mistakes. If you become angry, you will make mistakes. If you make insane decisions in the moment, it will make mistakes, especially during the 21st to the 25th. This is like the peak moment of it. Be cautious, okay? Take it easy. Go with the flow, baby. Go with the flow. That's what Saturn wants to teach you. Nothing is in your control. Surrender, and that will be the easiest way. Don't fight it. So stop trying so hard to control everything and just flow with it. We do have marriage here. The energies of intimacy are going to be something very important during this time. What you're committing to, the intimacy, how you create intimacy and romance. This is going to be something of an importance as well. Be very cautious because Saturn is ending things here. So for some of you, there could be some love relationships that end. Not all of you guys. It depends. Here, the relationship is meant to take you more into a spiritual path. So those are going to be the relationships that are going to be best for you. And last but not least, we do have a wishes granted. So there is going to be some wishes coming true. And you're going to see that the more you just release the expectations, release the attachment, release the attachment to the results, you're going to see that the wish comes true. That's usually how it happens. The moment that you let it go, boom, it happens for you. So something very powerful is coming here for you, my beautiful Aries. I do want to pull one card for love here for Aries, best advice with this Mars and Ketu energy. And we have getting to know each other, a lot of talking, a lot of intimacy. Express, listen to your partner, listen to the other. And as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, this is how the bond is going to deepen so much more. Okay. Alrighty, my beautiful Aries, those were your messages for this upcoming month of the Mars and Ketu conjunction. I really hope that they help. Love you guys so much. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo right now for this Mars and Ketu energy. You can book a consultation with me using the promo code in the description here below. A 75-minute session where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Aries. So book one today. Alrighty, my beautiful Aries, those were your messages. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. If you like them, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That will mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Tauruses. Welcome, Taurus, to your horoscope for this powerful transit of Mars and Ketu. And I want you to pay very, very close attention because you are going to be one of the signs that is going to be highly affected by this powerful aspect. Of course, we have Mars and Ketu in a Kendra house of your fourth house. This is major, 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 major. So first and foremost, there's going to be here major focus on family and home life. The one amazing thing about this is that if the past has been haunting you, something about your past has been haunting you, something about your ancestral karma has been haunting you, something about when you were a child, this happened to you, that happened to you, and you know, all these things from the past, all these wounds from the past, all the things that your poor little inner child had to go through, all the things of your ancestral karma that you feel like it's on top of your shoulders. This is an amazing opportunity to finally liberate yourself. This is the greatest thing about this transit. Now, of course, it's not going to come that easy because you are a stubborn sign, my beautiful Taurus. You are not prone to change that much. But this is an amazing opportunity to finally liberate yourself from the past. And so this is an energy that is saying this comfort zone is no longer helping us. I no longer want to carry the ancestral karma on my shoulders. It ends now. I burn it away. I purify it with the energies of Ketu. So all themes of family are coming up to the surface. All themes of home life are coming up to the surface. This is a moment where you may be feeling like, you know what? I've lived in this place for so long, and now I'm ready to close this chapter off. Ketu and Mars are making you feel like this is no longer a comfort zone. You've outgrown the present place that you are in at this time. You've outgrown this. And so there could be this feeling of, unsatisfaction around your home life. Now, this can take you into maybe rearranging your home. Maybe some of you guys decide to change some furniture around, to fix things around. That's the best way to handle this energy, especially if you're feeling frustrated. Fix the house, arrange the house, make things in the house, fix, paint it, fix things around, because that is going to be some way for you to channel all this energy. But Mars and Ketu will definitely bring delays if you are trying to sell a home, if you're trying to buy a place, if you're trying to sell some land or get a car or sell a car. There might be some delays here, but eventually, it goes away. But more than anything, if you focus on finally doing the spiritual work to liberate yourself from the past and the past conceptions that keep you small, that keep you tiny, this is going to be a way for you to finally transform yourself, to finally uh, go beyond it. Now, if you do live with someone, if you do live with your loved ones or your partner, you are going to feel quite irritable. And you may think that it's your partner that is pissing you off, but you are the one who is very angsty and restless and just like kind of causing a little bit of issues here and there. So choose your battles wisely, my beautiful Taurus. No need to push buttons, okay? And do your spiritual practices at home. If you actually create like a temple energy in your home, and you do your archan and your mantras and your yoga and your pujas and your things on a daily basis, you're going to be okay. Okay. But this is the way, like the way that you're going to be able to handle this tension and the ability to cut away from the past is going to be through your spiritual practices, and do it at home. Okay. Do your yoga at home, do your kundalini yoga at home. This is what's going to help you, especially if you're feeling like all the resentments are coming up, all the pissed offness is coming up, how you just talked to your mother and she just pushed all your buttons and reminding you of this. And there could be something that is also haunting you where you're just like, there is this sort of situation going on with my family, father wounds, mother wounds that have been passed on from generation to generation. This is the moment to finally eradicate them. This is the moment to finally liberate them and burn them away in the fire of purification. And all of this is so that you can ascend to a higher level of status and to a higher level of work. Okay. But something needs to change in your comfort zone. You are being kicked out. The comfort zone is no longer comfortable and it's like getting to you. So, this is something good. One thing I will say, be very, very cautious with fire in the house. Be very, very cautious with knives if you're cooking. There's probabilities here of having accidents. I don't want you to have any accidents, my beautiful Taurus. And again, stay very, very much focused on your spiritual practices at home. Okay. Also, rearrange the house, fix the things around. Now, one thing that can really help you is your friendships. Okay. So if you feel like the house is getting too much, you're getting annoyed, you're getting irritated, the house is just like too small for you now, it's just feeling like, ugh, then go and hang out with some friends. Go and hang out with some friends. They're going to help you to get through this time. Go and be with your friends, your associations, your networks of people, especially older, wise people that you love to hang out with. Go and pay them a visit, and that's going to definitely help you to release all this tension and energy. So let's go a little bit deeper into your messages here, my beautiful Taurus. What else do we have for my beautiful Tauruses for this Mars and Ketu conjunction for the next upcoming month for Mars and Ketu for Taurus? And we have surrender to the wonder and awe. So another thing that happens here in the fourth house is that the fourth house is the house of happiness, of true contentment and happiness. So if there's been something in your life that's been haunting you, not allowing for you to feel content and happy, like it's just like, yes, I have everything I have, but it's just this one thing, I don't know what it is. It's like this thorn in my heart that doesn't allow me to just like feel the joy and the happiness. This is the moment to take the thorn out. And they're suggesting for you to surrender to the wonder and awe of the world, the wonder and awe around you. Open your eyes to the magic that is all around you. Get out of your head and find fascination of just be grateful that the sun came out. The sunshine is hitting your face. You can walk outside. The beautiful flower is being born, and getting lost in the wonder and awe of the little things of life is what's going to open that heart chakra more and more and more. But the heart chakra is something very important for you this month. Focus on your heart chakra. And if you have issues with your mother, this is the moment to finally liberate yourself from these things. Okay? Find out about your ancestry and you will realize how there's no need to be angry and upset with your parents. This is just something that has been going on for generation to generation. Surrender fear. You see, whatever fear lies within your heart, whatever fear lies within the depths of yourself, fear that you could have adopted when you were young, fear that you could have adopted when you were a little girl, a little boy, this is the time to get rid of those fears and to finally release what has been haunting you. Some fears that have been haunting you, fears of not making your family happy, fears that, um, mother issues, fears around family life, fears around home life. This is the time to eradicate all of that and let go of the fearful stories you're telling yourself and stay in the present moment in the wonder and awe. And last but not least, surrender to non action. Don't react. Choose your battles wisely. If you react angry, you will lose. You will make mistakes. If you react upset, angry, especially with your family, with your mother, with your partner that lives in the house, you will be the one who makes the mistakes. So surrender to non action. Now is the time to stay still, do your practices at the house, and let others come to you. Okay? You don't have to go and try to fix and do. Alrighty, my beautiful Tauruses, those were your messages for this upcoming powerful time. I really hope that they help. Love you guys so much. If you like these messages, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then definitely take advantage of my promo right now. Using the promo code, you can book a consultation with me, a 75-minute session where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Taurus. So book one today in the description below. Alrighty, my beautiful Tauruses, those were your messages. I hope that they helped. Love you guys so much. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Geminis. Welcome, Gemini, to your horoscope for this powerful conjunction, this Pisacha Yoga on the 7th of June to the 28th of July. And this Mars Ketu conjunction will be happening in your third house. Very, very important energy. And of course, it's aspecting the Saturn on your 10th house. This is an important part of your chart because this is the normal house that you rule, my beautiful Gemini. You rule naturally the third house of courage, siblings, and communication. And when we have Mars here, we get an extra boost of courage, an extra boost of drive, an extra boost of like, you know what, I'm just going to say how it is. But you got to be cautious because this could be the thing that ends up giving you a headless mistake. Here, Ketu and Mars are purifying the way that you communicate and some perception or some relationship with your siblings that is haunting you, that has been haunting you for some time. Maybe some of you guys have been haunted by the fact that maybe you filter yourself too much, or haunted by the fact that you're too blunt, or haunted by the fact that the foot in the mouth syndrome, or haunted by some issue with your sibling. But here it's a moment, or haunted by some negative thought, negative perception that has really self-sabotaged you. So this is a time to sanctify your mental realm and to align your courage with the divine will of God. So very spiritual time, and it's bringing a lot of spiritual consciousness to the mind. So this is a time where, number one, you have to be extremely cautious with the way that you are communicating, my beautiful Gemini, because you might just feel like, I'm just going to tell this person how it is and I'm not going to filter nothing. And that might just get you into trouble, especially if it deals with work. Okay, if it deals with bosses, if it deals with authority figures, and if it deals with coworkers, this can end up making you have an issue. It will become a karmic situation at your workplace. So we need to communicate as best as we possibly can. And when you know that you're communicating, you can't control how people are going to react. Okay? The best thing you can do is Really think before you speak. And that when you speak, you're speaking with humility. Ketu is all about humility. Humility. And this is a toughy one because Mars in Leo has no humility. It's like a burst of ego that pops up. So this is why this energy is like, ah, but Ketu will always win. So if you speak from arrogance, if you speak from pride, if you think that you are the one who knows it all, who knows it all, and I know, 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 like this may end up causing you a massive problem, my beautiful Gemini. Okay. So be very cautious on the way that you speak. You may feel like you just want to react and speak and say how you want to say it and tell this person how it is, but that might just end up becoming karmic for you and coming back. So if you really need to say something, just write it. Okay. If you really need to get it out of your chest, write it out. And that will be the perfect way for you to not end up committing some sort of mistake. Okay. And of course, you don't want to write something that later somebody finds. Make sure that you get rid of it. But just a way for you to kind of release this tension because there might be some internal anger, some repressed anger that you might just want to like say it how it is and just like, you know? So we need to be very cautious with that, especially communication with our siblings. Okay, during this time, the Mars and the Ketu, if you've been having issues with your siblings, Gemini, like, I don't know, some weird situation with your siblings, like, yes, you guys grew up together, but you don't get along, but you don't never talk, or there's some weird tension there, some weird energy there, like Mars and Ketu saying, like, okay, time to, what is going on here? Time to make peace with that. If you talk passive aggressively towards your siblings, this is the moment to eradicate that. And if you do end up talking passive aggressively, it will come back to you as well. Okay. Very, very cautious with these energies, my beautiful uh, Gemini, because the thing that can cut away the opportunities for you is your speech. So make sure that you're communicating in a controlled manner, that you're thinking before you speak. And after this aspect passes by, you might just tell the person how it is, but not right now, because it could really cause a headless mistake here for you. Take it into the spiritual route of sanctifying your voice and your thoughts, and to understand that you know what, thoughts come and go. So yes, and right now in this moment you might be super pissed off and you're ready to tell this person what it is, but maybe in an hour you totally forget about it. Let emotions be like clouds that pass in the sky, that you don't have to be, attached to a certain thing. Like just let it pass. Practice the humility too of, being as humble as a piece of grass where everybody can step on you and you can just like, you know who you are. You know who you are, Gemini. And it's none of your business what people think of you or don't. But you just got to be cautious that you are not offending, because if the gossip, the offending, the criticisms, the judgments come through your mouth, you might just end up causing a headless mistake that affects your reputation and affects your status. So be very, very cautious with that. So now let's see what is some messages that we have here for my beautiful Geminis. Some messages for Gemini for this Mars and Ketu conjunction for my beautiful Geminis. And we have, ooh, okay. Wow, interesting. So for Gemini, there's something you're birthing. Some of you guys are literally birthing a project, something very important at this time, some sort of career move at this time, or literally some of you guys are talking about pregnancy, talking about children. So all of these things are being incubated at this time. Okay, don't rush it, don't push it, and be flexible, because you might have a certain, like, it's going to come out like this, it's going to come out like that, and you might have to release the expectations. Do your best. Of course, do your best. Give it your all. But you are not in control of the outcome and the fruits of that labor. So there is some sort of very important rebirth that is happening here for you, and some important project that you're releasing, or literally talking about children. There is definitely some children talk. We do have here the sun energy. So some of you guys may be talking about a son. Maybe this is also you, Gemini. For my male Geminis, there's something that you're healing from your childhood, healing with your sibling, healing with your brother. If you have a little brother, if you have a brother, this is a time to truly, heal these things. Have a nice talk. Have a nice, um, genuine talk from the heart to heart. Do your part. And this could truly, truly heal a lot of things from childhood and something that has been haunting you for some time around your siblings. And last but not least, flower power can really help you at this time. Essential oils, homeopathic therapy, herbs could really help you at this time. I would say drink more chamomile than caffeine, so that you don't end up saying something out of the burst of you know being too energized or something. Use essential oils for forgiveness. Use essential oils for calming your nerves down. Use essential oils for releasing the pent up anger. And homeopathic therapy could be something really, really good for you, my beautiful Geminis. And I just want to pull one card here. So, the key here with Gemini, with Saturn and their career, detox some friendships. Yes, you're gonna get rid of. You're gonna see during this time who really is your friend and who's really not your friend. And don't think that everybody at the job is your friend. Okay, just be very cautious of how you speak and how you say certain things, because there might be some friend enemies around you, or you can easily offend somebody with this aspect as well. Alrighty, my beautiful Geminis, those were your messages for this powerful Mars and Ketu conjunction. Remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo right now. Using the promo code, you can book a 75-minute session where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Gemini. So book one today. Alrighty, Gemini, those were your messages. If you like them, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That will mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Cancers. Welcome, Cancer, to your horoscope for this powerful Mars and Ketu conjunction, this Pisacha Yoga. So this is going to be happening in your second house of money and family. Very important time, because here it is a very important time where there's been something going on with your money relationship, your relationship with money, or your relationship with your family, that has been kind of haunting you for some time. Of course, it's going to be different for everybody. Maybe some of you guys have had a very obsessive relationship with having money, creating money in your lives. Or maybe some of you guys have totally renounced money and lived poverishly, in for the sake of spirituality. So there's a sort of distortion here, a sort of disbalance here, that we are ready to purify and sanctify as well. So with Ketu and Mars in the second house, first and foremost, we have to be extremely cautious of our speech. Again, a lot of speech for you. You may sound very angry, very upset, very, very, especially with your family, where you're just going to be like, I'm going to tell it how it is. I don't care. Finally, I'm going to tell my family what I think of them. And you might end up hurting some people's feelings here, especially when it comes to your father. Okay, so there is something going on here with maybe father wounds that are coming up, family wounds that are coming up, family values that are coming up, and it's been something that has been haunting you for some time. Maybe some of you guys have decided to put that in the back burner and not think about it, but with this aspect, it's gonna come back. This ghost from the past is gonna come back. So this is the time to heal the situation. This is the time for you to make peace with any resentments that you may have around your father, or any upsetness that you may have around your family, to make peace with money as well. Like this is a time to also shift and change your mindset around values and how it is that you consume. Maybe some of you guys are recognizing that maybe I've been putting too much of my thought to money, too much of my energy to endeavor for finances. Some others of you have totally neglected this part of you, and so it's going to be a different story for everybody. Choose it how it's best for you. But Mars and Ketu here want you to sanctify your financial life. It wants you to start understanding that this is not your money, that this is the money of God, and that everything that you have in this world, that you have in your life, is actually rented out from the divine Almighty. So this is one of the most important things, my beautiful Cancer. And if you practice this on this next upcoming month, the gratitude of like, wow, I have all of this. I can give myself this amazing meal, this amazing vacation, this amazing, um, clothes or whatever. Like, I'm going to give back. I'm going to give back to charity. I'm going to give back to my guru. I'm going to give back in seva. I'm going to give back to the temple, to the church. This is going to be the way to sanctify your money and to say, thank you, God. I'm just giving back whatever it is that you have given me. Thank you for choosing me to handle this money. And I know that I'm going to use it in the correct ways. I'm not going to exploit it. I'm not going to use it wrongly. I'm not going to just use it for my own sake and my own pleasure and to hoard it for me. It's trying to help you to create a healthier relationship with money, where you're not obsessingly about money and you're not also being miserly about money. And now, in the other extreme, if it goes into like, oh, I'm too spiritual, I don't believe in money, and I've repressed myself from money for many, many years, but yet there's still desires for money in your heart. There's still desires to live nice and good, because at the end of the day, like, God doesn't want you to live without dignity. Okay? Even any devotee that you see, like a good devotee, will always have dignity. Yes, they can look simple, they can look like they have a very simple cloth on and very simple things, but the cloth is always clean and impeccable, and there's a dignity that the human being deserves to have. Okay, so if we have not embraced this dignity, and we've renounced it in a way for the sake of I'm so spiritual, then this is also going to come into balance, and to recognize that you are deserving of dignity. Now, you're not deserving to become extremely greedy to the point that you need to have everything. So it's a balance here. It's going to be different for everybody. So again, with Saturn here aspecting it, Saturn is saying, as long as you take it as it is the divine will of God, and God was the one who has provided for you, giving to you, and giving you this money, and you keep this image and this focus with gratitude and with consciousness of how to consume, then this is going to be something really good. If you keep going into the greed, if you keep going into the obsessions with money, you're going to experience delays. You're going to experience maybe some losses. God forbid. I don't want that to happen to you. And also, when it comes also to the values of your family. So we got to be very, very cautious of how we're going to take this energy and where you're going to direct it towards. Okay. Now let's look a little bit deeper into the messages here for my beautiful Cancers. What do we have here for Cancer when it comes to this Ketu and Mars conjunction? And we have organize for success. Okay, this is a time to organize for success. Check out your finances. Check out how much you're taking out, taking in, how much money's coming in, how much money's going out. Understand where you're spending your money. Maybe some of you guys have been paying for memberships that you don't even use anymore. So this is the time to do a cleanup of all of that and organize your finances, and also organize for making more abundance and prosperity. Organize how much money you're going to be donating and how much money you're going to be saving. Okay, pay yourself first. Learning to pay yourself first. Learning to to give yourself that dignity, that when you get paid, some of that portion is going to go to you as a way of paying to yourself how well of a job you've been doing. It is what God has given you, and you put that into savings accounts. And last but not least, moonlighting. So here they're telling you that with hard work, you can keep your current job to pay the bills while working on your dream career for on the side will eventually take off and will eventually take you to your dreams and aspirations. So keep working towards these things. Be righteous about it. Be careful with making money from adharmic ways or unrighteous ways of making money, because that could be losses as well. So believe that eventually you can live in your dream career, and it will pay off everything that it is that needs to pay for you. Alrighty, my beautiful Cancer, those were your messages for this upcoming Ketu and Mars conjunction. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. And remember that these are general readings. If you would like to have a specific reading at this time, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo right now, where you can book a consultation, a 75-minute session where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Cancer. So make sure you book one today in the description below. Alrighty, Cancer, those were your messages. If you like them, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That will mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Leos. Welcome, Leo, to your horoscope for this Mars and Ketu conjunction. And Leo, please listen to me very, very carefully, because this conjunction is happening in your sign. And the last time that this conjunction happened was literally on 1989. So for some of us, this is actually the first time that we're going to be experiencing this very powerful conjunction. And this is happening in your sign, Leo. So you are going to truly feel it strongly. My Leos, I'm going to be super honest with you. You guys are going through a massive astrological surgery. And I know it's painful. I know it sucks. But this is a time where life is truly trying to help you to liberate yourself from your false ego. But you are the one who's the most, as a sign, you are the one who's naturally the most attached to this false ego. And so it could literally feel like your identity is being disintegrated. Your sense of self is being disintegrated. But it's trying to liberate you and to purify your heart and to kind of peel the onion of layers of who you think you are, and actually take those things off, the expectation of society, the expectations of others, and even the expectations that we put on ourselves sometimes, because we're like, oh, I'm supposed to have this perfect life. By this age, I should have had this and this and that and that and this. And if I don't have that, shame on me, shame on me. So this is a moment where it's like, I have a different route. I'm very unique. I'm not like the rest of the world. I'm not like the rest of everybody else. My successes come in different times. And that is the liberation, the authenticity that this aspect is trying to bring to you. So the key here is, of course, Ketu. You are going through a very Ketu time right now where life is purifying your sense of ego. And you are the king of the jungle. Therefore, you are the one who has the strongest pride. And so this could be quite powerful. Now, the idea here is that as long as you do your spiritual practices and you simplify your life and you practice non-attachment and you practice not having expectations and you practice releasing and letting go of the expectations that, or the attachment to the results that we may have, then you're going to be able to do it well. But if we do stay attached, and there's an attachment to our pride, I am this, I am the king, I am God, then you may just have a massive humbling situation where it just brings you back into like, sit down, Leo. You gotta understand, you're small. And so it's gonna be an interesting energy for my Leos, of course. And all of this is perpetuating a lot of vulnerability. So I can already hear my Leos during this time being like, but why me? Why me, God? Why? Why are you doing this to me? And this is exactly what we're purifying. You are not the center of attention. You are not the all be all. You are not the king of the jungle. You're not God. You are the servant. And that is what this aspect is trying to teach you. You are the servant. And whatever concepts of what you think you're so grand and why you think you're so this, because either you're intellectually extremely smart and therefore you have pride, or because you come from a very good family, therefore you have pride, or because you think you're white, black, this or that, then you have pride. Any pride that we may have that is coming from a false sense of identity and that inflates your arrogance and that inflates your ego, this is what's being massively purified. And during this purification, we literally can feel like, oh my gosh, life is just wanting to see me down. And it's not that. Life just wants to see you humbled. So during this time, your saving grace is to be humble, to practice humility, to practice, I am not the controller, I am not the doer, I am just the servant. And the more you practice this, the easier this aspect will be on you. Saturn here is telling you, be vulnerable, Leo, because if you're vulnerable and you allow the vulnerability to come in, and you're like, yes, you know what, I'm not great, I'm not the king, I'm not perfect, I have my vulnerabilities, I have my moments, I have my imperfections, and it doesn't make me anything less. Like, yes, this is my vulnerability, this is what I am. Nothing is under the table. I'm not pretending, I'm not putting up a front. Then that is when you're going to finally get some massive transformation that Saturn wants to give you. But if you take the route of like, I'm in control, and everything's great with me, nothing affects me, I'm beyond it, I'm above it, I'm above it with my nose up, seeing you down with my nose up, then that could be the thing that will definitely trigger some sort of tower moment that will bring you back down to to your humility. So key, very spiritual, very humble. You are not the center be all, and you're extremely vulnerable. As long as you do this, you will be safe, and you will actually go through a massive purification, because there is something that has been haunting you about your identity and your persona. This reminds me of kind of like the example, like, let's say when we do have these people who believe that they are God, and they're like, I am God, I am God, I am God. How frustrating can that be? That in reality, you're just a human being that makes mistakes, but yet you're thinking you're God. And then when you see your life that is not perfect, and then when you see that you as God can't even do anything, you can't change the circumstances, you can, just wave your wand and make the miracle happen. This could be extremely frustrating, like extremely frustrating, because I mean, you're God, so you should have gotten it right. Instead, if we take the humble approach of being a human, hey, I'm a human. Of course I make mistakes. Of course I'm not perfect. Of course I'm not the knowing all be all, and I'm just the servant of the servant of the servant. Then in this humility, you will not fall down, and you will be able to work with what you have. So this is a very powerful, super spiritual time for you, Leo. And if you take the spiritual route, if you take the route of renunciation, then this idea of who you think you are that has been haunting you, or this, I should have been this, I should have been that, I should have been in this position, I should have been in that position, this will go away. This frustration will finally go away. And you will finally step again into this vulnerability, which will transform your life. So the idea here is, don't keep secrets, don't put up fronts, don't try to control, and keep it humble, baby. Keep it real humble. And that will definitely be very beneficial for you. So let's see, what are some other messages here for my beautiful Leos with Ketu and Mars in this upcoming conjunction for Leo and Ketu and Mars? Highly suggest that you work out, move your body, but be careful that you don't get hurt, obviously, and control any anger, any tension. This could be a great way also to maybe work with a therapist or a counselor. This could really help you to get through all this internal frustrations or anger. We have affirmations can be very strong for you at this time. Affirming things, affirming affirmations could really help you. And I will say more affirmations of humility than affirmations of I'm great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm God. Be careful with these affirmations. More affirmations that simplify and bring you into a more humble state. We also have easy does it. You will be feeling like you want to push the situation, you want to force the situation. And the best thing is no expectations, detachment, and don't impose your will onto others. Let others be, let people be. And as long as you do this, you can go with the flow. If you feel like it's getting too much, if you feel like you're too upset, too angry, too irritated, go and take a bath, go and jump in the water. The water is going to soothe your temper. And last but not least, some wish is going to be granted for you. So by the end of this transit, you will feel lighter and you will feel more authentic to yourself, as long as you have allowed the vulnerability to really come through. Alrighty, my beautiful Leos, those were your messages for this upcoming month, this upcoming transition. I really hope that they help. Love you guys so much. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo right now. Book a 75-minute consultation where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you would like, my beautiful Leo. You can book one in the description below. Alrighty, Leo, those were your messages. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That would mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Virgos. Welcome, Virgo, to your horoscope for this Mars and Ketu conjunction, this Pisacha Yoga. And this Pisacha Yoga will be happening in a very, very, very interesting and spiritual aspect of your life. So for you, it is happening in your 12th house of closure, letting things go. So at this time you may be feeling like you have a lot of things to do. You're very, very busy. Your schedule is packed, but this Mars and Ketu conjunction are literally saying, nope, time for isolation. Life is sending you into isolation. Life is like, time out, Virgo. Go into isolation. Renounce it, let it go. And you may have a lot of anxiety because you are a very strong, dutiful energy. You're very much about your duties, very much about what needs to happen, what needs to get done. You're very responsible. But during this time, Mars and Ketu are saying, nope, you have to isolate. You have to stop. You have to disconnect from the mundane world, disconnect from the to-do list, disconnect from your usual routine, and things are going to shift very, very strongly at this time. So there's something major happening here, an ending of some sorts that is happening here. Some of you guys may be prolonging this ending where you're just like, yeah, I have a feeling that we need to kind of bring this to a closure, but there's a sort of addiction to the routine already and the pattern that you've been living that it's kind of scary to let it go. And maybe this is something that has been haunting you, the idea of like, it's interesting. I'm getting like the idea of like, what happens if I don't have a job? Or what happens if I don't have something to do? Or I'm a bad person if I am lazy, or if I'm not doing anything, or if I'm just diddle-daddling and I'm not being productive enough. So there could be this sort of haunting energy around you. And maybe some of you guys are feeling quite burnt out, but you're used to it. And it's almost like I prefer being burnt out than being like not knowing what's going to happen in my life. So there's this sort of addiction to being in control of fixing things in your life and of doing things and of almost kind of having control over your daily routines and daily things that you can do. But Mars and Ketu here, and the ghost of the past that is haunting you, is that your spirituality is calling to you, Virgo. And the spirituality may say, you got to renounce it and go with the flow, because all these things that you're endeavoring for, all these problems and things that you're fixing, it's never ending. You can stay in the battlefield of life forever, and you have for many, many, many lifetimes. So it's almost like something in you is extremely burned out and exhausted, but there's a massive fear of stopping, because it's almost like, but what would happen if I'm not there to do, to make, to happen, to hustle, to make it go? What's going to happen? And there could also be this haunting fear of letting go, where it's almost like, I don't even look at the letting go part. Like, we don't even acknowledge that part. We don't even acknowledge that things come to an end, that things may finish, that things are going to come to some sort of closure. You don't even want to acknowledge that part. It's almost like, no, that's not going to happen. And so life right now, it's literally being like time out, spiritual time out. The time has come for you to close, let it go, disconnect. And it's almost like the workaholic that's like, no, no, don't cut my hours. No, what am I going to do with myself? And in this sort of going with the flow, it leads you into a lot of anxiety, or surrendering the control. It leads you into all this restlessness. It leads you into all this anxiety. And that is the thing that is making you feel like, but you also deserve rest, Virgo. This Mars and Ketu conjunction can also disrupt your sleep. And maybe some of you guys may even have some nightmares, or very violent dreams at this time. And one of the things that I like to, in ancient philosophy, ancient Shastra, it talks about how you can also burn karmas through your nightmares and through very intense dreams. So you're going through some cleaning out of your subconscious at this time. You're cleaning out some subconscious pattern, something that has been stuck in your subconscious. Maybe some of you guys may be carrying guilt, shame, and fear and anxiety of surrendering, of not letting go. And it's almost like something in you is like, Virgo, we need to meditate. Virgo, we need to do our yoga. We need to, like, let go and just go with the flow. But it may instill so much anxiety in you, where it totally disrupts you, and it kind of sends so much cortisol in your body. So this is an opportunity for you to truly step into your spirituality, Virgo. When Mars goes into the 12th house, this is a time for spiritual, like, the the warrior, the spiritual warrior is coming along, plus Ketu. So you have a very powerful moment here for full renunciation. And even if you have the ability to kind of go on a trip or go on a retreat, or disconnect from the world, turn off the phone for some time, just like get off of social media for a week or two, it might just help you to just settle into the trust of life. So it's going to be powerful and very spiritual for you, my beautiful Virgo. If you definitely start going into your spiritual practices at this time, it's going to be amazing. Spiritual practices of meditation, mantra chanting, and even isolating in a mud, or isolating in a temple, or isolating from the mundane world, or closing a chapter off in your life, letting go of that situation, that job, and letting go of a commitment that maybe you've been serving for some time, and you're kind of exhausted from it as well. Why? Because we have Saturn here saying, you know what, Virgo, you don't have to commit to everything and everyone. You don't have to commit to all the things that you're going to fix, and fixing other people's lives and saving other people's lives. Like, don't commit to these things. Commit to the things that really matter to you, and commit to those things that are not expecting for you to be some sort of insanely productive robot 24/7. Commit to those things that allow for you to have your resting, that respect your moments of rest, of disconnection, that respect your sleep, that respect your spiritual practices. Commit to those things. At the same time, for anybody who is in a very toxic relationship, for my Virgos, this could be a time where life is really saying the time has come to close this chapter off, especially if you're playing the savior, or the one who's going to fix this person. This might also come to a sort of situation where you're just like, nope, I can't fix anybody. Like, God is the ultimate healer, and everybody has to be responsible for their own personal healing. I can't be the one trying to save everyone and everything. So you may let go of this concept as well. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper into your messages here for my beautiful Virgos. What is another message for Virgo for this powerful Mars and Ketu energy in the 12th house for my beautiful Virgos? It's clearing out a lot of subconscious patterns. So if a lot of things are coming up to the surface, just know that you're going through the spiritual time. And as long as you do your spiritual practices, you'll be able to handle it. Okay. If you keep ignoring it and still push, and you're like, no, I don't want to rest. No, I don't want to sit down and do the meditation. Then this is where you might do some headless mistake. So first we have surrender, low self-esteem. The time has come for you to erase any remnants of low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance just for being who you are. You don't have to bust your butt to get these things. It would just come to you because you are those things. So any remnants of low self-esteem is coming here to finally close, to finally eradicate it, to finally release it. Some of us put a lot of our productivity, and we connect our self-worth to that productivity, and this could be that transformation that is currently happening. Or we also connect it to our partner, that if my partner is happy, therefore I am a worth it person. So these things are also going to be transformed. Surrender to what is. Life is saying, this is what it is. Time has come for a timeout. Time has come for you to just go and be in isolation. And if you fight this, it's going to be more painful. So surrender to what is not going to be forever, Virgo. Okay? You may feel like it's going to be forever, but it's not. Everything has an ending. But if you surrender to what is and you flow with what it is instead of fighting it, when you can change a situation, compassionately accept it exactly as it is, and it will bring you peace. Okay? It will bring you peace. And last but not least, surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Life is telling you, go into nature, go walk in nature, find peace, Virgo. It's almost like you're like afraid of peace. There's almost like this fear of peace. And you've learned to be peaceful in so much hectic productivity that you feel like that is peace. But the peace is when you let go of all the to-do lists, when you leave the battlefield of life and you go into the mountain and you just flow. So this is the time for you to really step into your spiritual practices strongly, my beautiful Virgo, and you will definitely be very, very happy. Alrighty, my beautiful Virgo, those were your messages for this upcoming powerful transit. Remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to the situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo right now. Book a consultation, a 75-minute session where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Virgos. So book one today in the description here below. Alrighty, my beautiful Virgos, those were your messages. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. If you like them, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That would mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Libras. Welcome, Libra, to your horoscope for this Mars and Ketu Pisacha Yoga that we're going to be experiencing for the next upcoming month. And for you, this Pisacha Yoga will be happening in the sector of your 11th house of friendships, associations, networks of people, and dreams and aspirations. So you are definitely something a person that is very, very well known. You have a lot of friends, you have a lot of acquaintances, you have a lot of connections. You're that person that knows the perfect person to connect with this other person. So here there might be a little bit of pride that comes from, oh, I know this person, oh, I know this other person. There might also be that you may have some associations that are quite prideful. And your associations are very important, my beautiful Libra, because you are a very we sign. And so whoever you are associated with, whoever you relate with, whoever you hang out with, it kind of affects your identity. You become very, like, you adopt those people's moods, you kind of change yourself to fit in. And not that this is bad, it's just your natural tendency to be extremely diplomatic and you just know how to handle people very, very well. But this is an energy that life is saying time has come to maybe release some negative associations that are no longer serving you. Some negative associations that, yeah, they could have a lot of power, they could have a lot of status, they could be, the person that you can name drop and you know um, have this sort of thing. But life here is saying, like, you need to associate with people that are worth your association and that actually are spiritual and that connect you deeper to spirituality. So materialistic friends can really be draining you at this time, where you're just like, I'm over it. Now, there could be some repressed feelings. Maybe there's a friend here that is really pissing you off. And you're like, I'm ready to tell this person exactly what I feel. So it's an opportunity to let go of negative relationships that you no longer need, letting go of negative associations that are not benefiting you. But it's also important that you be careful, because you might burn some bridges that don't need to be burned. You are also feeling quite burnt out from other people. Like, you may be feeling like life is pulling you in many directions. You're trying to satisfy everybody and everyone. And this could also be something that affects you. Now, with the energies of Mars and Ketu, we can also discover here that you may be spiritualizing some dreams and aspirations. Maybe some of you guys were endeavoring towards a dream or an aspiration that is not really in alignment with your dharma, that is not really in alignment with your divine purpose. And so this is a time where you may finally conclude this and make peace with the situation. Maybe it was some sort of dream that was giving you some sort of recognition and pride and arrogance around it. So now you're kind of releasing that. And it's not that it's not, it's not that now you're not going to become anything, or what's your worth. No, you're going to become something better because you will start aligning your dreams and aspirations with the divine will of God. And that is what this Ketu and Mars wants you to do. Okay. And to also get rid of all the things that are impeding you from having this dream that is more in alignment with your dharma. For some of you guys have to be very, very cautious of some sort of enemy or some sort of thing ending here. Okay, be very cautious with these energies, especially things with children. We want to be very cautious. If you are a parent, that you're not going into fights with your partner, that you're not having this really intense fights or intense fights with others. Choose your battles wisely and really take the path of humility. You may really feel like, oh, I'm just going to tell this person off exactly what I feel on the internet, on social media, on this group of people, on this group of, on this person, on this friend. And this may end up causing some sort of headless mistake for you. So a lot of humility. And just know, like, if you don't really want to hang out with somebody, you can just not talk to them, period. You don't have to create a massive drama so that it finally concludes. It's like you're also kind of drained with the drama, and you no longer want to be in this sort of drama of everybody. It's kind of burning you out. So there's this very strong energy, especially male friends is going to be something really highlighted for you, the male friends. The key here is Saturn, work, okay? Work and stay focused on the duties and stay focused on your lifestyle. And make sure that in the lifestyle you are adding your spiritual practices, that this becomes part of your life for the benefit of yourself and the benefit of your soul. And as long as you do this, Mars and Ketu will chill here. And Saturn is also telling you take the longer route. Um, you know, really assess who's really your friend and who's not really your friend, and you will see the true colors of people during this time, and you will see who really is your well-wisher and who's really not your well-wisher. Any sort of hidden enemies will come up to the light at this time. So let's go a little bit deeper into your messages here, my beautiful Libra. What are some other messages that we have for Libra for this Mars and Ketu energy for Libra, Mars and Ketu? And we have, yes, okay. Saturn here is telling you that if you change your diet, lifestyle, you're going to be doing a lot better with your friends and relationships. And they're literally asking for you to maybe try out some vegetarian diet, change of diet, vegetarian diet. Maybe some of you guys have negative consumption vices with certain friends. Maybe certain friends make you drink more alcohol, make you take drugs, make you, and because you're socializing with them and you're kind of going down this path that may not be the healthiest path for you. So something here is telling you improve your health, improve your diet. And maybe this is a time where you're just like, I'm tired of drinking, I'm tired of smoking, I'm tired of this, of consuming these intoxicants. And you may start stopping, and then you're going to see the friends that are going to be like, well, what's wrong with you? What do you mean you're not going to drink and smoke with me? And then you're going to see who really is your well-wisher. You're going to see, like, dude, I'm doing this for my own health, and you can't really be my friend there. So some of you guys may discover these things, but stay focused on your health, stay focused on your lifestyle, and make sure that that is the main energy and that everything else is around that. And be assertive, okay? You're going to have to be assertive. You're going to have to be like, no, no. Oh, but come on. You've always smoked with me. You always drink with me. You always eat these really bad foods with me. And you have to be strong enough to say, no, I'm putting this boundary. I love you so much. You're my friend and all, but I'm putting this boundary. Please respect my boundary. So it's going to require assertive energy from you so that you do not get taken advantage of from your friends and associations. Alrighty, my beautiful Libra, those were your messages for this upcoming powerful conjunction. I hope that they help. Remember that these are general readings. If you would like to have a specific reading to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo right now. Book a 75-minute consultation where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Libra. So book one today in the description here below. Alrighty, Libra, those were your messages. If you like them, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That will mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Scorpios. Welcome, Scorpio, to your horoscope for this Pisacha Yoga, Mars and Ketu conjunction. And man, for you is going to be really, really important because Mars and Ketu are actually your rulers. You are the combination of Mars and Ketu together. You are this combination of really powerful energy of Mars, and your co-ruler of Scorpio is Ketu. So these two planets are coming together in a very powerful place of your chart. This is a Kendra house. So you are going to be one of the ones that is going to feel this very, very strongly. And Mars is also aspecting your sign. So you're going to be going through a powerful energy here, my beautiful Scorpio. And the number one thing I want to warn you is if there's any pride that you may have around your business, your status, your career, this could be something where I need you to be very cautious, because you might just be like, oh, I'm going towards the peak of my career. I can do whatever I want. I'm the boss. I'm the boss, babe. I can do it. Blee, 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 blee. And more recognition, more fame. I'm on top. This might be the thing that just drops you right back down. And it may frustrate you. It may frustrate you. Maybe some of you guys have been feeling like there's been some sort of momentum happening in your career, and this Mars and Ketu are kind of like subsiding it, releasing it. And so here life is teaching you that for the next cycle of your career, we can't just be this arrogant, prideful person. We have to purify it and start becoming a humble servant and a humble leader that leads with the heart. And this could be the very difficult aspect for you, my beautiful Scorpio. This could be the place that is difficult. So something in your career is transforming. Okay, you are releasing and letting go. Maybe some of you guys are switching careers. Maybe some of you guys are deciding to upgrade your career to a new thing. Maybe you are announcing like a change in your business or new products, or you are starting to move it towards a new direction here. Maybe you've been working and everybody knows you as a certain thing in your career for some time, and now you're switching into something else. So this is a great time to do that. Like if you've been wanting to introduce a new thing in your career, or go into a new job line, or go into a new sort of purpose in life, this is a good time to do it. This is a good time to do it, especially if you really feel like it deals with spirituality and you really feel like it deals with a bigger calling, something that is more in alignment with your divine calling, the will of God. So it's not so much about you, and me, and what it is that I want, but it's more of like what God is asking for you to show up as, and your mission. And sometimes it's not something that we want to do, but it is the mission that has been given to our soul. So we need to release any expectations at work. Everything that you're doing right now, take away the expectations, because the expectations and the attachment to the results may just piss you off even more. You're going to get frustrated that it's not coming off exactly how you want it, exactly how you desire it. And if you try to be too controlling in your career sector, you may cause headless mistakes. You may insult or offend your higher ups, your authority figures. So be very, very, very cautious with this. Be very cautious with this. Here also with Mars and Ketu here, this is a time where life is trying to sanctify your career. It wants you to start aligning your career with something of a higher purpose, something of a higher calling. If so far you've just been doing a job because it makes you money, or you've just been doing a job because it gives you some sort of status, or maybe some of you guys, God forbid, you're in some sort of line of work that is illegal, or that is not very dharmic, or that is very unrighteous, and you're just doing it because, Great, it makes money. Great, I can, I'm not serving the world, I'm not making it better, but it makes money. This could be a time where you really, really come to a whole halt and saying, like, the time has come for you to switch this. Scorpio, you are extremely powerful, you're extremely strong, and God wants you in his army. God wants you in the army of goodness, of sattvicness, of holiness. And so this is an amazing time for you to align your purpose with that. And it's almost like a lot of prayer where you're like, okay, God, I'm releasing this job that I know that you don't want me here. And I'm going towards a job that is going to be beneficial for the world, for me, and it's going to be a sacrifice. And I will renounce the title, and I will renounce the expectations, and the attachment to the results, and I'm just going to do it because it is my duty to do it. And so here the key is Saturn in the fifth. So Saturn in the fifth is telling you organize your creativity, is telling you to um, be very, be very mindful of the passions that you may have. Okay. And there's been a detachment that is happening here with your passions, so that the sense enjoyment is coming more down. You're no longer getting so much gratification from the sense enjoyment, and you can actually see more clearly what is this bigger calling, what is this deeper calling, what is this more spiritual calling. For those of you who do have a spiritual practice, and your job has spiritual qualities, as long as it's not like scamming or anything like this, then this could be a great, great job. Like, it needs to come from selflessness. It needs to come from this place of truth and authenticity and genuine energy to be of service. And that could be an amazing time to really ignite your career. Be very cautious, because if the pride comes in, the ego comes in, the tyranny comes in, and you want to impose your will onto others, uh, onto your job, your colleagues, or your business partnerships, or maybe you're like, you know what, I don't need nobody, I'm just going to do it on my own. This could be a time where life kind of brings you down. So I don't want that to happen to you. So really come from a place of a lot of spirituality here, so that you can really rise to a better occasion and understand that this is beyond you. Okay, this calling is beyond you, and it's for a bigger cause. Align it to something bigger than yourself, and you will see that it will be very, very beneficial. So let's look a little bit deeper into your charts. And this could also be some sort of ghost haunting you from the past, like this ghost that has been like, you're supposed to be successful, you're supposed to be success, 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 success. Like, there could be some sort of haunting energy that is just like, I am meant to be something great, I am meant to be something amazing, I am meant to accomplish all my ambitions and have a really high position in life. And it's not like there's anything wrong with this, but it could be something that has been haunting you to the point where you're just like, if I'm not this, I'm miserable. If I'm not this, then I am nothing. And so life is trying to liberate you from this really high, intense expectations, so that you're no longer frustrated. So let's see, what do we have for my beautiful Scorpios? What do we have for Scorpio for this Mars and Ketu conjunction? Mars and Ketu conjunction, for Mars and Ketu conjunction. And we have deservingness, okay? Feeling deserving. You are a beloved child of God like everyone else, and you deserve to receive the support that will allow for you to focus upon your divine life purpose. Okay? So even if you can't yet recognize your lovable qualities, trust that God and the angels uh, can see how amazing you truly are. So the deservingness of a career that is maybe not the most luxurious career, but it's a career that is truly in alignment with your heart and that can truly make a difference in the world. Um, Partnership. Don't do it alone right now. Don't do it alone. Okay. This could also be affecting your commitments. So don't go into this prideful energy of like, oh, I'm just going to do it alone. Oh, what do I have to depend on other people? Oh, other people don't do it as good as I do it. Be cautious with this. Go more into the partnership mode and allow for others to shine as well. You are a very powerful energy, my beautiful Scorpio. You are incredibly good in your career and everything that you do, but not everybody's as strong as you are. And as long as you have this compassion for your partners, it's going to be something good. And last but not least, face your financial fears. So this is a lot about facing the concept of what success means to you. So you are going through a transformation of this. What does success really mean to you? And maybe you adopted an idea that success is when I have my private jet. When I have my private jet, then I'm successful. And this is maybe a time where you are transforming this idea of success. That maybe success is not so much of a title and a status, but more of an inner happiness that truly rises from something beyond material. So, facing your financial fears at this time, facing your ideas of success, being successful is the moment right now, and to purify this. So, stay connected to your spiritual practices to get through this. Alrighty, my beautiful Scorpio, those were your messages for this upcoming powerful time. Remember that these are general readings. If you would like to have a specific reading to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo right now. You can book a 75-minute session with the promo code where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Scorpio. So book one today in the description here below. Alrighty, my beautiful Scorpios, those were your messages. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. If you like these messages, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That would mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Sagittariuses. Welcome, Sagittarius, to your horoscope for this powerful Mars and Ketu conjunction, this Pisacha Yoga that is very rare. And the last time that we had it was in 1989. And for you, will be happening in the ninth house of gurus, teachers, higher education, and father and luck. And this is going to be something very, very powerful for you because this is the original house that you usually rule. And there could be some sort of there's a sort of haunting energy here. The past ghost from the past here, it could be related with your father. So there could be some father wounds here, or it could be related to teachers where you're like, oh, I thought I found the teacher for me, but no, that's not the teacher. That's not a teacher. So maybe some frustrations around finding the right mentors and the right teachers. Or there could also be a haunting energy from the past around higher education, learning, teaching, and last but not least, of course, your luck and, of course, any pride around knowledge and wisdom, where maybe there could be some pride here of saying, like, I know. I know what the truth is. I know what it is. I know. So, this is what is being purified at this time, my beautiful Sagittarius. It's a time of a lot of humility, and it's a time for you to truly, truly um, release, especially if you have done any sort of um, Vaishnava apparat, if you've offended any of your teachers because you come off as arrogant and you know more, or I know more, I know what the truth is. This could be a time where life kind of gives you that little humble moment. So be very cautious if there is repressed anger around your father, if there's repressed anger around your teachers, if there's repressed anger around your higher ups, if there's repressed anger with belief systems and religions as well. By Sagittarius, if you've been, you know, bringing down religious orders or sanctified texts, or insulting the Bible or insulting these scriptures, like, this is a time where life is kind of telling you enough, Sagittarius, and it's going to prove to you that you don't know that much, and this humility will allow for more knowledge to truly come into your life. So it's showing you, because the fool who thinks he's a wise is a fool, and the fool who knows he's a fool is wise. And that is where it wants to put you in, my beautiful Sagittarius, especially if you're some sort of teacher teaching others about these things. So there's also going to be a purification around your father and father figures and authority figures. This is not the time for you to um, be explosive and get very start saying whatever it is that you want to say to your teachers, or whatever it is that you want to say to your father, because this can definitely cause more issues at the end. So be very, very cautious with what you're saying and speaking. Think before you speak. Think before you commit that offense. Think before you commit that offense to a higher saint or a higher teacher or your father. Okay? If there's been father wounds, this is literally an amazing time to finally purify these energies and to finally come to peace with them. So the idea here, also, if there's been some sort of pride around you're the one who has traveled a lot, or there's a lot of pride around that you've seen the world, these things are also being purified as well. And also, if there's been the use of traveling for escaping something, then this is also coming to an end. So life is trying to root you. Life is trying to root you into your home. And it's like you can neglect your inner world, Sagittarius. The grass is not always greener in the other side. And this could be the biggest lesson that this aspect is teaching you, that where you are is the perfect place that you are meant to be. So stop chasing this other place. Stop chasing the grass is always greener on the other side, and this sort of incessant energy. As long as you take into consideration your your teachers and you respect them, and you also take into consideration your practices, spiritual practices, doing a lot of pujas and a lot of archan, and doing rituals that are honoring your ancestors, honoring your family members, and honoring, the divine. This could be something really powerful as well. Some of you guys may also want to quit school, may want to drop out of school, drop out of college. Just wait. Wait at least after July 27th, 28th to actually make some sort of decision around these things, okay? This is trying to heal also your root. So if you did have a lot of father issues, this is the moment that you're going to feel super triggered. So it's coming up for you to purify it and burn it away, and to finally make peace with these things, and not just to drive you crazy, okay? So something very, very powerful for you. Let's go a little bit deeper here for my beautiful Sagittariuses. What do we have for Sagittarius for Mars and Ketu conjunction in the ninth house for Sagittarius? And we have daughter, yes. A lot of healings of the daughter, especially my female Sagittariuses, especially because you're now going into this energy of meeting the perfect person, meeting the one. We need to make peace with our father. We need to make peace with our father figure. And we need to make peace with our higher ups and our father figures and our authorities that are males in our lives. So your inner child, the inner daughter, the inner little child, the inner little girl is going through this healing. Also, my Sagittarius men, in a way or another, also healing their inner child in a way. Whom do you need to forgive? Do you need to forgive your father? Do you need to forgive your teachers? Do you need to forgive your guru? Whom do you need to forgive? Where are you holding those resentments? Okay, as you release the old anger and resentments, you will experience more joy and happiness in the moment. So its time has come to finally make peace with these things and to finally purify them, because it will bring you the love life that you truly want. It will bring you the love life that you truly deserve. Making peace with your father, and even coming to your father for advice in love. And you might be like, oh my God, Binodini, are you crazy? You'll be surprised. Just by just doing that, you might just shift everything in your life when it comes to love life. So give it a try. Okay? Our ancestors are, they're there for us. And we sometimes may think like, oh, my parents are stupid, oh, my dad's dumb, they don't know, they don't get it, they don't understand, they're old school, but those ancient ways, the ancient wisdom is very, very strong and powerful. So listen to them, open your energies to them, and sanctify this energy. Alrighty, my beautiful Sagittarius, those were your messages for this upcoming powerful Mars and Ketu conjunction. Remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of the promo that I have right now for this conjunction. Book a 75-minute session with me where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you would like, my beautiful Sagittarius. Alrighty, Saggy, those were your messages. I hope that they help. Love you guys so, so much. And remember that these are general messages. If you like them, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That will mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Capricorns. Welcome, Capricorn, to this Pisacha Yoga horoscope of Mars and Ketu coming together. And I want your full attention for this, my beautiful Capricorn, because you are having it at a very, very, very important aspect of your chart. Okay, so this Mars and Ketu conjunction are happening in your 8th house of transformation, death and rebirth, sex, intimacy, and your secrets. And there's been something in your psychology that has been haunting you, okay? Something in your psychology that has been haunting you, even, God forbid, maybe when you were young, you were sexually molested or raped or, something happened where it broke your trust. And it just brought up all this fear inside of you. And of course, my beautiful Capricorn, you are a very tough cookie, okay? You're not that type of person that is telling, oh, poor me, feel sorry for me. You're not this type of person. You're tough. And you're like, okay, that happened, but I survived. I keep going forward and I survived, to the point that you may not even ever look back at it. You're like, oh, just leave that in the closet of skeletons, just leave that in the Pandora's box and never open that Pandora's box. We do not go there. We do not go into the secrets. We do not go into those vulnerabilities, and we keep that unlocked. Well, this aspect right now with Mars and Ketu is unlocking the box. It's unlocking the box, whether you like it or not, whether you're ready or not. But you are ready, because this is the reason why this is happening. You may not think you're ready, but you really are ready. So this Mars and Ketu are literally coming here to finally purify something in your psychology. If you have mental illness, if you suffer from anxiety, if there was traumas, if there was pain, disillusions, anything that is in your psyche that you keep really well hidden, very well hidden, so that nobody sees how broken you are inside, this is coming to the surface, baby. And this is going to be a month where you're going to be feeling triggered. You're going to be feeling that triggerness. And you thought that you had already overcome this. You thought that, oh, I thought I had already overcome that pain, that suffering, that thing that happened to me in childhood, that abuse that happened to me in the past. You could have already thought that I'd already had dealt with this ghost, and the ghost is coming back. Okay, so Mars and Ketu here are going to wake up your fears, but they're not waking up your fears to just drive you crazy. They're waking up your fears so that you can finally eradicate these fears, so that you can finally overpower them and overcome them and take your power back, my beautiful Capricorn. This is why it's happening. So yes, you are on the verge of some sort of dark night of the soul, a massive change, a massive transformation here that might make you feel quite vulnerable. But if you go into the sage route, if you're like, okay, if you go deep into your practices, deep into your spirituality, this might be a time where you really get intrigued by psychology, intrigued by the occult, intrigued by astrology, intrigued by the hidden knowledge of life, and even your own mystery of yourself, then you're going to get lots and lots of benefit. This is a super sage energy. Like, this is like, wake up the mystic within you, Capricorn. Because yes, you might be the super boss, CEO, but there's a massive mystic around you. There's a mystic energy within you. And this mystic is ready to come out and to claim its power back. So if there's been hidden aspects, insecurities that you've locked up in the Pandora's box, and you're like, oh, we don't look at that, we don't talk about that, we don't talk about those things, this is going to be the time to bring it up to the surface and finally eradicate it. It will not have any longer power over you, but it's going to require for you to be vulnerable. So this is a fantastic time to go into your shadow work, to go into counseling, therapy. This is an amazing time for all these things, my beautiful Capricorn. So Mars and Ketu is definitely helping you, is definitely transforming you, and is definitely giving you the power to take your power back and to eradicate the fears and the ghosts that have been haunting you, the pains that have been haunting you, the traumas that have been haunting you, the wounds that have been haunting you. This is the moment to finally shine light in all of that. One thing that could really help you at this time, intimacy, also sex. And of course, I'm always advocating for sacred sexuality with a sacred, divine, monogamous partner. So if you're married, this is an amazing time to reconnect and deepen that intimacy with your partner and to let them into this vulnerability, especially if you've never told them about something from your past that has affected you. This is a great time to maybe open that and to finally release yourself from the secret. Because that's the thing, is like we hide things and the secret will eventually own us. The secret actually chains us and pulls us down. But the truth will set us free. Even if the truth is extremely uncomfortable, extremely vulnerable, even if the truth is like, I'm not perfect, I didn't do it perfectly, I made mistakes, I err, I'm just human. Like, this is good, my beautiful Capricorn. So sexuality will definitely help. Also be very cautious with, there might be changes in inheritances. There might be changes in inheritance and money and assets of the family. So again, go with the flow, detach from these expectations. Don't have so many expectations. If you try to control things, K2 will cut your head out. So don't control anything. This is the moment to just become detached, not control anything, go with the flow, and remind yourself, I am not the controller. I am not the controller. I am not the controller. And I just have to trust. This is going to be the hardest part, because that is what it's trying to dig at. It's like, why is it that you don't trust, Capricorn? Well, I don't trust because this happened to me, and 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 this happened to me. So when we hold on to those things and the reasons why we don't trust, this is the reason why, we become trapped. We become trapped. So release the control and trust. That is going to be the key here. You need to trust. Saturn in the third house is, you got to be brave. You got to be brave, baby. You got to grow some balls of steel and be brave. Be brave to go there. Be brave to be vulnerable. Be brave to take off the mask. Be brave and have that courage. Because if you have that courage, you will finally liberate yourselves from these dark energies that have been holding you back. Saturn is also saying, put effort. You need to put effort. And, writing can actually help you a lot during this time to kind of release those things from within. Writing, expression, communication. Again, the communication, speaking vulnerably will definitely help you. And also your siblings. There might be some connection here with the siblings, especially with the inheritance. So try to bring some balance to all these things. But Saturn is giving you the key that the time has come to shift this mind. The time has come to shift our perception in a more empowered perception, in a more empowered way, with less sabotage, with less victimization, and with less of, fears of vulnerability and controlling attitudes. Very, very strong energy for you. Let's go a little bit deeper here in your messages, my beautiful Capricorn. What else do we have for Capricorn for this upcoming powerful Mars and Ketu conjunction, this Pisacha Yoga for Capricorn? And we have, surrender your idea that you can fix someone. And you see, this is that energy that the Capricorn is so fatherly. It's so fatherly and so tough that it's like, I would hold it together for many people. But this is a moment where you're recognizing it is your responsibility to heal yourself, and don't distract yourself by healing others or fixing others. You are not in control of fixing anybody. Fix you and be responsible for your own personal healing. Okay? Especially if it's with a partner where you are like, oh, the partner needs me, I'm fixing them, I'm helping them. It's not your business. It's not your business. So let go of that. It's a distraction from your own pain. Surrender setting limits. This is the moment to start setting limits, even setting limits with yourself. Like, okay, I'm going to cry it out, but I'm going to set a limit. Like, yeah, I cried enough. Or I've had this fear for some time. I'm going to set a limit that is no longer going to control me anymore. Okay. So setting limits and boundaries in your relationships will be something of benefit for you. So make sure, because this is the way that we have um, a healed psychology. It's our boundaries. Okay. And if, for example, God forbid, when you were young, something happened to you sexually, this could have totally destroyed your concept of boundaries, where you're just like, well, I said no, but I still got abused. So we may have a distorted version of what boundaries are, to the point that it's like, well, I put boundaries, but they get broken. They don't mean anything. And so this is what is being shifted and changed. It's like, no, boundaries are real. You can use them and you can work with them, and they're healthy for your relationship and healthy for everybody, so that you do not get abused. And last but not least, surrender to non-action, baby. A lot of spirituality, a lot of reading ancient knowledge, a lot of spiritual practices. That is what's going to help you. So no action. You don't have to take action on others. You don't have to force yourself on others. You don't have to go and fix others. All you have to do is focus your energy on yourself and let others come to you. Okay? Alrighty, my beautiful Capricorn, those were your messages for this upcoming powerful shift of Mars and Ketu. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. And if you like these messages, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That will mean the world to me. And remember that these are general readings. If you would like to have a more specific reading to your situation, Capricorn, then definitely check out my promo right now, where you can book a 75-minute session where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like. So book one today. Alrighty, Capricorn, those were your messages. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Aquariuses. Welcome, Aquarius, to your horoscope for this powerful Mars and Ketu shift and Pisacha Yoga. And this Pisacha Yoga will be happening in a very important aspect. So listen up, my beautiful Aquarius, because this is happening in a Kendra house of your relationships. So there's some ghost from the past following you when it comes to relationships. Interestingly enough, some committed relationship that didn't work out, some lover of the past, the man that got away, the woman that got away. I've been trying to have relationships and it just doesn't seem to work. It's on my third divorce, whatever it may be. Or even if you're currently married, but there's something of that is haunting you from the past, something that has been haunting you when it comes to your committed relationships. And it's been a little bit difficult. Maybe you're like, I've been trying to get it right, but I don't know why it's not working. Or some of you guys are completely negating yourselves to love. There's been many opportunities for love, but you've negated them. um or some of you guys have gone into love and it was just like, what, I don't even know what happened, I don't know why it's not working. Something around your commitments has been haunting you, and this is going to be the time where it's going to come to the surface. And this is an important thing, because this situation with your relationships and commitments has directly affected your self-esteem, even if you may not think, even if you're like, well, I haven't had a relationship in years, so what are you talking about that has affected my self-esteem? It will affect the self-esteem in a very subtle way. Okay. If you committed yourself to partners that don't deserve you, or that abused you, or that it was a lot of distress, and you're just like trying to figure it out and it's just not working, this is all kind of coming up to the surface. So with Mars and Rahu here, we got to be very, very cautious, because this definitely brings an energy of endings in relationships. Okay, so if you are in a toxic relationship, in a toxic pattern of relationships, This is your opportunity to finally change the pattern, to finally say no more of this, no more of this abusive relationship. It is affecting too much my self-esteem and my self-worth. Others of you who are currently single, this is a time where life is telling you we need to shift our mindset around commitments. It's not something we're supposed to be running away. It's not something that we're supposed to be rejecting. It's not something that we're supposed to be escaping. Life here, if you are in a good relationship, life is also trying to show you that there's a better way to go about your relationships that can actually bring fertility to the relationship. So you are being purified of some misconceptions about commitments, misconceptions about marriage, misconceptions about how you're supposed to be in a relationship, and misconceptions about what is a good relationship for you. So lots and lots of transformations here. So it's going to be different for everybody, of course. So if you are in a relationship, you are meant to be in a relationship that is spiritual. Okay, this is what Kate is trying to say. If the relationship doesn't have God in the center, it's not going to work. All types of negative things are going to come into your life. All types of negative energies are going to attack your bond. And this happens all the time. Now, when we do make God the center of our relationship, we are servicing God together in our relationship, and it becomes the holy family. Then this is when we really are in alignment. And that is what it's asking from you. It's like, get a partner, not because it's the partner that you're going to have sex with the rest of your life, or the partner that you can get along with. And it's kind of like, it's like there, so why not? No, get a partner that is going to help your soul growth and your soul to go towards the devotion of our creator. This is going to be that relationship that will elevate you. This is going to be a relationship that is actually for the well-wishing of your soul, and that the connection of your relationship is not just lust, it's not just greed, it's not just complacency, but it's a relationship that is really deep and that is actually helping your soul. Okay, so that is what Mars and Ketu are forcing upon you with this, because that is what's going to really boost your self-esteem. Also, you can see if your relationship is extremely karmic, this means that you're losing money. Money's tight, you're losing money, and you feel like this partner is just leaking money out of you. Then this is a karmic relationship. And you might be put in a position where it's like, are you going to choose yourself, or are you going to choose this toxic relationship and keep bending yourself backwards in all forms so that you can keep this toxic relationship because of fears of being alone? So very, very powerful energies. The clue here is sanctify your marriage, make it spiritual, make God the center of your communion, and that is how it's going to be protected. That is what Ketu is asking for. And it's not going to allow for you to just have a relationship just because it could affect you even more. So make sure that it's boosting your confidence, your self-esteem, and that this partner boosts your integrity. That is not somebody who's abusing you and putting you down and making you feel bad about yourself. Okay? Let's go a little bit deeper into these messages, my beautiful Aquarius. What else do we have? Be careful, because there could be fights as well. There could definitely be conflicts as well. If you're single, then it's purifying this energy of being single. The time has come for you to take a step forward towards being loved. Okay? What is the message for Aquarius with this Pisacha Yoga? And religious factors. So life is saying your love life is influenced by your spiritual upbringing and your principles and values. Exactly what I was talking about with this K2. That is the partner that you're meant to be with, a partner that is in alignment with your spiritual values, with your spiritual principles. And even if you're like, well, I'm not religious, but I was raised Catholic, like these things these things build your values. And you are meant to be in a partnership that is in alignment with your values. Okay? This is a past life karmic relationship. Whatever relationship you're currently in, it is karmic. It is strong, intense. And this is the reason why it feels so binding and so karmic, because you guys have known each other before. And I do see reconciliation. So life wants you to reconcile. There could be a partner that you reconcile with from the past, or there could be a new energy that you reconcile with, or your heart finally gets reconciled. But reconciliation is going to be something very, very powerful. Just make sure that the reconciliation is now for the better and is not just to, you know, because there's a fear of being alone. Okay. And I just want to pull one last card here for you, my beautiful Aquarius, when it comes to this Scorpio. Words of abundance. Be very cautious of the way that you speak, especially how you speak to your partner, because that could be the thing that makes it or breaks it. But I'm also not telling you to repress your communication. Of course, speak up and say what it is that you truly mean, and be honest and truthful, because that's how we get the best outcome of any situation. Alrighty, my beautiful Aquarius, those were your messages for this upcoming powerful Pisacha Yoga. I hope that they help. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo. Book a 75-minute session with me where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you would like, my beautiful Aquarius. And that is in the description here below. Alrighty, Aquarius. Hope you like these messages, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That will mean the world to me. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Pisces. Welcome, Pisces, to your horoscope for this Pisacha Yoga of Mars and Ketu. And for you, it's actually in a very good placement here, because Mars, when it goes into the energies of your sixth house, it becomes the energy to conquer it all. But there is something from the past haunting you, and it has to deal with daily life, work, and service. So something from the past has been haunting you. It could either be that either you're overworking yourself, or you are not wanting to work and wanting to get the easy way out of life, or also deals with how we have order in our daily life. So if the plates don't get clean, then the stack of dishes gets more and more and more and more and more and more. And then it feels very overwhelming. Then it feels like, I mean, I wanted to go and clean the dishes, but it was so many that I just felt so overwhelmed. And this is just a metaphor on life. When we neglect things of life and we just turn the cheek and we're just like, if I don't look at it, maybe it'll just go away. That debt, that parking ticket, that issue at work, that issue with my health, that issue with that enemy and that debt, like maybe if I just like la 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 la, it will go away. And life is showing you no. And this could be that ghost from the past that is gonna come back, where maybe you did like ignore a situation and it kind of got resolved on its own, and you're like, oh, okay, great, don't have to think about that again. Well, now with this aspect, Mars and Ketu are bringing this ghost from the past and saying, it's coming back. That parking ticket that you never paid and you thought that it was going to go away if I just don't think about it, now is coming back. So, or that debt that you haven't paid and you've been like, oh, maybe it'll just go away. Or that collector that keeps calling and you're just like, oh, I'm just not going to answer. Like these things of life that we need to take care of, that if we don't take care of them, it will pile up into more issues, more problems. Mars here saying, let's get it done, baby. Let's get it done. Especially our health too. Like, let's fix the illnesses, let's fix the dead, let's fix the enemies, and let's put all our ducks in a row in our life. And that is what this Mars and also Saturn want you to do, because you are going through the Sari Sati, or you're going through this Saturn in the first, which is really asking for you to really step up as an adult, to do it correctly. Don't skip it. And if you already are at an older age, then this is feeling like, you're getting older and older. Like Saturn is bringing that sense of old energy into your body, into yourself. So you may be feeling more pains in your body. You may be feeling like, okay, I'm not as flexible as I used to be. Like now I'm waking up with pains. Like my health is deteriorating, or I have more responsibilities in my plate, or life is telling me you're gonna have to become more responsible, and you might be like, I don't want to. So this is where Mars has come and say, no, we have to face the enemy. We have to face the illness. We have to go into the battlefield of life and fix these problems, fix these issues. And Mars is ready to do it. So Mars will make you successful. Mars will make you successful. And by the end of this, it will align all the ducks in a row. But the idea here is that you don't go into escapist mode, okay? That you don't just try to overlook it and not look at it. You have to face the music. This is the month to face the music. And what's going to give you the strength to face the music? Your spirituality. That's what's going to help you fix it. Even if you're like, okay, I haven't been wanting to go to the doctor because I'm afraid what they're going to say, and then if they tell me I can't eat this, I can't do this, I can't do this other thing, and I'm not ready, like, pray before you go to the doctor. Pray for strength to come into your life. If you're like, oh, I never wanted to call the lawyer about that issue, or I never wanted to call the dead person about that issue, like, pray. Pray to give you strength. Pray to help you clean the dishes of the sink. And from the sincere heart, like, I am ready to put my life in order and put everything where it needs to be. Now, for those of you who are extreme workaholics, my beautiful Pisces, maybe some of you are like super, super extreme workaholics, and you've had a routine where it's like work, 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 do, do, do. Now, maybe you're on an age where life is telling you you can't work as much as you used to work before. And now we have to focus on your health. And now we have to focus on changing the routine. Maybe some of you guys are getting ready for retirement. So this is a time where life is saying, don't fight it. Don't think that you can still keep up with the younglings. Things are shifting. Things are changing. It doesn't make you less. It doesn't make you worse. It doesn't make you unworthy. It's just what it is. So time for health. Time to take care of your body. Time to take care of those problems of life. Put them in order. Time to take care of that debt. And finally, liberate yourself from all these things that have been haunting you, of the to-dos that you have been postponing, that checklist of things that you have been like, maybe tomorrow. So now Mars here is really telling you, let's go, let's do it. So let's go a little bit deeper into these messages for my beautiful Pisces. Focus on your priorities. Exactly. And your priorities is this to-do list. Write down all the things that you have been postponing, that you have not been looking at, that you're like, maybe there's an easier route. Maybe I can do it where I don't have to do it, or maybe I can make somebody else do it. Like, the time has come for you to face the music. This is the moment to face the music. So focus on your priorities. And as long as you focus on your priorities, you will be able to gain what it is that you need to gain. Okay. Don't focus on others. Don't get distracted. This is a time to really tackle down your priorities, and you will see that it will be very, very good. Release jealousy. Okay, this is the time for you to not be looking at what other people are doing, or what other people are having, or why those things come to other people. You don't know the struggles that they went through. You don't know how much work they've been doing. So if they can do it, so can you. And just know that nothing comes without effort. And even if it does seem like it comes without effort, is their karma. So that's just what it is. We can't compare karmas with other people. Like, that's just what happens. They did some good deeds, and that's why the karma is showing up. So don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. And keep your eyes trained on yourself. And if somebody is doing what you want, what you've been wishing to do, is because they can do it, so can you. And face your financial fears. Yes, we got to face the music. That's what I was saying. We got to face your financial issues, financial problems. We got to face the success in your life. We got to face the problems that need to get fixed. And we got to face these uncomfortable things that may feel like a lot of endeavor, may feel like a lot of energy put in them. But when you do them and you put these things in order, it will make you stronger. You will feel happier, and you will have your life in order. So face your financial fears, and face your concepts of success. Don't go into illusions. Don't go into imaginations. Face the music. This is reality check, a huge reality check. And it's here to help you, not to burst your bubble. Alrighty, my beautiful Pisces, those were your messages for this upcoming powerful Pisacha Yoga. I hope that they help. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you book a consultation with me with the promo code in the description below. A 75-minute session where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Pisces. So book it in the description here below. And thank you so much, my beautiful Pisces, for being here, for your messages. I really hope that they help. And thank you so much to all my brothers and my sisters for being here during this Pisacha Yoga horoscope. Thank you so much for the likes, the comments, and for sharing this video with your loved ones. I truly, truly appreciate you guys so, so much. And I'll be seeing you guys for the next video. Hari Bol and Hari Krishna.